This is the Royal Opera House Armoury, where we store all the weapons from previous productions. We have everything from lightweight swords for dancers made from aluminium to swords that are for fighting and other pieces that are historical. Say these swords are 200 years old, were fought under Napoleon. So for Siegfried, we were asked to provide a variation of different types of swords, the ones we were happy to sacrifice for the scene for the blacksmith. So we've gone through some of the older blades that have lived a heavy life on stage, that were looking a bit tired, and it's nice to, sustainability-wise, reuse them again and find them a new lease of life within the set that are going to give some weight and some kind of gravitas to the scene and some reality to a set that is quite sparsely populated. So a lot of the swords have come from different productions that are now no longer performed. So we have some from Romeo and Juliet, some from the old Ring cycle, and lots of the swords from the old Aida.
We've really rinsed the Armoury department of all of their old kit. The ask of this was a big pile of swords. These are the failed attempts at forging this sword. And it's trying to make a structure that is very stable, not look stable at all. So there was discussions about how it started. It starts off with a base of just something's broken, chuck it away. And then the story is stuff started leaning up against the anvil originally, and then it started falling down. And then just more and more gets thrown at it and chucked at it and broken and snapped and discarded. You have to start with the story. That was a jumping off point. You sort of have to think, how did it start? What was the person who made this pile of swords thinking? From last year we had the big tree, and that was a major thing that was done in here. We've had a good few props in Siegfried this time around as well, so yeah, very proud.
When you are working with creatives like Barry, it is great because he wants the world. It's our job to actually tweak designs and create something that sometimes can't be created. Rufus and Barry wanted these crazy machines that made this sword. And so we wanted lots of things that moved and lots of action, add sparks and smoke, and it being this really bizarre thing that has evolved over time. Through that, I kind of started to develop and enhance those ideas. And then from that, I actually developed a couple of maquettes, which were basically like talking points to see if that's what they wanted. From that, I went to salvage yards and found lots of bits and pieces from old mangles to old machines that basically could then be taken apart and put back together in a magical, weird way. So basically, this is the machine, and you know, to start off with, this is what you're going to see, and the idea is you start pumping the bellows, and then you can spin the forge around, and then there's going to be smoke and light coming from the coals, and then as that goes round, there's going to be more steam and smoke coming from the coals and coming up the chimney. This is the mould, and then you'll have this new sword that has been drawn up, and it's been CNC'd out of aluminium. And then you can basically start working the sword and bashing it. And so you've got options, and then everything you can see moves around, and it's all part of the story about how this created. I don't really know how Barry is going to play it. So I've just kind of tried to come up with as many random things that he can use and hit. You have got the option of being able to hit random bits and pieces if needed to. So it's basically just 3 flints in a row. So it's just giving something quite unique. So just try to make as many random things as possible, just in case he wants to use them. The idea is the steam from the forge kind of moves this steam engine. So you've got cogs that will work and whiz round, and it's pumping, and so you'll have steam coming out of this here, and it will generate enough power that will then make this wheel start spinning. We're going to have sparks coming to kind of replicate how the sword is going to be sharpened. So imagine all that all on motors, and so everything is working together and everything is moving and spinning, and then that will be how the sword is made. We basically make stuff to the best of our ability, so it's trying to enhance what the creators want. That's why we're here, isn't it? I think a prop is a piece of a jigsaw puzzle, so seeing it in its proper place with the proper lighting, being used how the director wanted it, it's telling that story. That's what we do. You know, that's why we're here.